Okay, so there's this big heat wave currently rolling through Canada, but that's nothing an ice cap and a basement studio can't fix. And now let's get into today's video. Okay, so recently I had a few of you guys asking how I do these videos. So what gear do I use? How do I edit it? How do I get all that stuff done? So in this video, I'm going to go over the camera equipment that I'm using, how I'm recording everything, how I'm recording my screen, my audio, all of that good stuff to let you guys know exactly step by step how I create these videos so you can maybe draw some inspiration from that and do the same thing for your own content. Let's roll into it. Okay, so first things first, as a little explanation, I am recording every single part of my videos separately, meaning that I record my voice in one program, I record my screen in another program, and then I record my cameras in, well, the camera, obviously. And then I just glue everything together in Premiere Pro, which is my editing software of choice. So let's start with the camera gear. All right, so I'm using two Canon DSLR cameras. I have one Rebel T5i, which is the one that you're looking through right now, and then I have a EOS 650D. I'm not sure what the American naming for that is. I know that European and American Canon cameras are named differently, so that's why I have one Rebel T5i, which is the American version, and one 650D, which is the European version that I bought when I was still in Germany. Now, having two cameras is definitely a luxury that is not necessary by any means at all, but I am in the very fortunate position to have an architect and a very avid photographer as a grandpa, so he had that Rebel T5i and a couple of the lenses that I'm using at this moment. So for the main lens that you guys are looking through right now, that is a Canon EF 10 to 22mm ultra wide. If I zoom this out, so you can see I have a really wide field of view here, but with this lens I'm able to make this really tiny closet that I'm sitting in right now seem pretty big. Now on my B cam, I'm usually rolling with the Canon EF 15 to 85 lens. That also gives you a really nice spectrum of magnification. So that camera is basically the one in all. It can do basically everything. It can get really close up at 85mm and go down to 15mm, which is very wide. Alright, let's move over to audio. So I'm using the Audio-Technica AT4040 as my main microphone at this point in time. This is a microphone that I fell in love with years and years ago on musical tour. Our audio guy back then was using two of these things as the drum overheads. I was the drummer, so I was dealing a lot with these microphones, fell in love with them, always wanted to buy it, and then actually purchased one about half a year ago. So that's what my audio is captured by, and the software that I'm using for the audio is in fact Adobe Audition. Quick SD card change later. So yeah, the reason why I'm using Audition to record my voice is just simply because a lot of the times when I'm recording these videos, I actually need the Ableton sound and I'm making a beat or doing anything inside of Ableton, so I couldn't really record Ableton at the same time as I'm, you get what I'm saying. Right, so that was the audio front. So let's continue over to the actual display capture. So for my display capture, I'm just using OBS, fairly simple stuff. I could also record my microphone into OBS, but I'm just choosing to keep that separate, so I have a separate audio file from just my voice that I can then compress, do some EQing on, stuff like that in the editing process. Pretty straightforward. It's all free software, so pretty easy to set up. Let me know if you need a more in-depth tutorial on how to set up OBS and how to even set up OBS to be able to record your Ableton output or FL or other DAWs, or just in general even your desktop sound. That's quite the pain to actually get going, but I figured it out eventually. So let me know if you're interested in something like that or if you're already good on that front. Okay, last but very much not least, I see basically everybody out there underestimating the power of lighting. Lighting when it comes to videography is everything. You could have a $5,000 camera, really expensive lenses, crazy microphones, everything like that. If lighting's garbage, it's not going to look good. Let me show you a quick example. Okay, so right now I have all of my video and accent lights turned off, and I just have all of my Philips hues in this kind of orangey white. So this is kind of the type of light that you could expect if you just use your normal room lights. And it's looking all right, it's just not nice. Now, even if I just take these bulbs, again, I have Philips Hue bulbs here everywhere, so I can just take the color temperature up to something that's a little whiter and a little not so yellow. And even just that makes a big difference, makes it look a lot better than before. But if I have all of my other lights now also turned on like this. And now I can turn my hues into a nice color. So at this point, I'm very well lit up from the front. My side of my face is slightly shadowy because I got the light coming in from an angle. I have accent lights in the background right next to the Timbits. And then I have all my hues in like a nice color that I want to choose. If I want to go with a different color, it's as easy as that. Now, do not get me wrong, you do not need to spend hundreds of dollars on Philips Hue bulbs to get a good lighting setup. Let me actually quickly show you what I do for general lighting around this place to make it look the way it looks right now. So first and foremost, when we look into the room, you can see that there's one big softbox right on the left corner right there. Got a few accent lights like that little whiteboard, as well as my aquarium, which emits a little bit of light. And then I obviously have my Hue there. I got this random desk lamp with just like a warm white bulb in there. And then I have 2 more Hues up in the ceiling. Now this side light right here is actually super handy just because it's one of those typical, it's like I got it for $5 from like Value Village or something. And this light, since I can completely turn it and twist it and position it wherever I need it at the moment, it's very handy just because I can create directional light. So if I want something that's a little bit more dramatic, for example, if I'm filming my push or my laptop, the keyboard, anything like that, I can get this light really low like that. Now I can create some really dramatic shadows and lighting effects just by using this one cheap little light. So that sort of lighting is really handy. It doesn't have to be any expensive lights. Even this softbox right here, I got in a 3-pack off of Amazon, I think for like 70-80 bucks or something. It's not much, but it can do a lot. So you really don't need to spend tons of money. You just have to spend money on the right things. If you are at a spot right now where your studio might look good from like the equipment and the way that you have it set up and the way that your furniture looks and stuff like that, but lighting is lacking, spend between $50 and $100 on 1 to 2 to maybe 3 softboxes. That's going to get you a long way. And then just get 1 or 2 of these little directional lights that are very cheap to get. And then if you want to spice it up some more and get some of those little accent lights, then that's also not very expensive. I would, however, definitely say and recommend to start investing into lighting before you start investing into expensive camera stuff. So even if you're just using your phone for now, don't have a fancy camera or anything like that, just invest into lighting. It's going to get you a long way. So that was it for my entire process of how do I record the videos that you see on my Instagram and my YouTube channel. Now obviously there's a lot of magic happening in editing as well, with color corrections and all of that fancy stuff. So let me know down in the comments below if you're interested in also seeing a sort of editing breakdown and seeing how I edit all these things and the steps that I take to make it look the way it looks, to make it sound the way it sounds. And if I have enough people asking for it, then I'll get to it eventually. I really hope that in this video I could share some information that might be helpful for you. If so, then let me know down in the comments below and give the video a like. Also hit the subscribe button if you're interested in more content like this. Okay, and one last plug before we end this video, head over to my Instagram at TrigonBeats to see what kind of things are already posted there. That's really where I express all the stuff that I've been talking about in this video most. So definitely check that out and let me know what you guys think. And with all that being said, I hope that you enjoyed this week's video, and then I will see you next week. Peace.